Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, be seekers and sojourners of truth, the 144, chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are, because we are definitely being seeded out, weeded out, in these times as we are entering into the next level, the new dimension of ourselves, of our unfolding souls. I am Aquila Textry in the divine energy essence of it all, reporting to you live from 5D, where it is a nice place to be. And as usual, I bring you the news to infuse if you so choose to. So let's infuse with this light as I activate this light grid. All right, all aboard for those who are on the light grid activation. Light warriors to their stations. All right, so this is a total solar eclipse new moon manifestation series, and this is the third step, otherwise known as the third day, right? Because I parallel it with the creative process. So for those who don't know, thank you for those who have been keeping up with the series, and welcome to the third step, third day. And for those who don't know, let me briefly introduce you to the manifestations. And this is a new moon manifestations that, as I said, I've been doing with my workshops. I would do it as a part 2 to the first workshop, the initial one that works with the full moon. Because as we work with the full moon, which is about transmuting our fears out from the root going up, root to the crown, this one with manifestations with the new moon is from the crown going down. And what do I mean by that? You're saying from the crown, from the root, what is she talking about? We incorporate the energy centers, otherwise known as the chakras, right? This is our rainbow, our 7 seals within us that we need to open. And it is the rainbow light. This is the promise of the rainbow that is within you. So I work with the promise of the rainbow, which are energy centers, our doorways into our consciousness. So this is why I incorporate it with working with the moon. These energies are all very intrinsic, and I am an energy alchemist. So let's alchemize together, right? So what I do is the 7 days. It's 7 days of working with these energies, because the moon is most potent 3 days before and 3 days after. We start 3 days before the full moon or new moon, and 3 days after. In this case, it is the new moon. So this would have started on the 25th. As I said, I did start out late, about a day behind. So we're doing a lot of catch up right now, and we will be caught up today on the day of the new moon. So you will see one more video after this one for 2 days, and then the rest will be 1 day at a time, right? We'll be all caught up. So to explain how we parallel this, I parallel it to the Genesis story. I call it the creative story, the creative process in Genesis, which is really an allegory, and it's for us to get the metaphysical meaning. So I do this esoterically, metaphysically, so that you can see what each day represents. And I may do a video that actually breaks down that story, what the allegory of that story is. Metaphysically, so we can get in tune with that, because it's really about your consciousness. The garden is your mind, it's your consciousness. You do everything in the garden, and the Adam and Eve is the conscious and the subconscious of your soul, which is the masculine and feminine energy, which is the thinking and the feeling, thought, feeling, coherency, right? And this is, to know this all helps us in our soul unfoldment. It plays a part. So we're going into our garden, we're going into our soul unfoldment, and we're using our energy centers coming from the crown going down. So 7 days, 7 chakras, 7 steps. Metaphysically, those 7 days are 7 steps in this creative process, right? So day 1, we started with the first day is illumination. Metaphysically, it is illumination. And that is when we are at the crown. You think of that light bulb at the top. I got a light bulb idea, illumination. So in the creative process, the first step is we need an aha moment. We need an epiphany. We need to be illumined, right? So this is what that first step is in the crown chakra, the divine idea that is being bestowed upon you. And you yourself are a divine idea, a divine expression out of the divine idea of cosmic consciousness from source, light, almighty, God, whatever it is that you call source. You are a divine idea and expression. So we started out as a light bulb. So as co-creators that work in the image and likeness of our divine, we co-create. So we have to start the same way, a light bulb idea. So something has to be illumined and coming in through the crown. And this is how we manifest from the divine into the earth. Especially in this realm, there's a manifestation process, creative process. So first step, that's what's being happened. What is being illumined in you? What is the divine idea that is coming through you right now? Whatever that is, focus on that, bring that in. There's so many ideas out in the ethers, so we're bringing it on in. This is where we go from we're pulling it from the void of nothingness, not because it's nothing, but because it is attached to no particular thing, which means there's a high potentiality of everything in the nothingness, in the void. So we're pulling it from the void of nothingness, let there be light, on day one, step one, illumination, and bringing it into everythingness, which is the second step. So from the nothingness into the everythingness. Second day, second step would be the faith, third eye. There we go. The third eye energy center, which is about faith. The metaphysical step and meaning for that is faith. This is where we go beyond. This is where we look to see beyond what the eyes can see, and we see into the unlimited potentials and the unlimited possibilities that are all out there for us to behold. And it takes great faith to do that, a great leap of faith. So this is the second step is actually a really important step. This is where a lot of people lose their way in their creative process, because sometimes we get lost in all of the unlimited possibilities and potentialities. And sometimes we can't see, because we can't see beyond these two eyes. So we don't even know how to grab the unlimited potentials and possibilities, because it seems so impossible, right? It's so untouchable, out of range. So it takes a great leap of faith. Second step is very, very important, to bring in the divine idea and bring it into the everythingness. And that means you have to allow yourself to see all the possibilities of this divine idea. That is an important step. For those of you who are into writing, kind of look at it like that is a step where when you're about to write a paper and you're just throwing out all your ideas, right? You're like your cluster ideas, and you're just throwing them all out. You're not thinking about it. This is this is the rough draft of the rough draft of the rough draft, and you're just throwing out ideas. You're not thinking about, will it work? How will it work? Just grab a possibility and put it out there. Grab something potential and put it out there. That is faith. It doesn't matter what it looks like. You don't try to shape it, right? So that's the second step. So this brings us into the third step, the third day, coming down to the throat chakra. And this may sound weird, but it is imagination. I know we may think imagination should be up here, but the throat chakra, the metaphysical meaning, that third day, third step, is really, it is about what we bring into form. So that third step is to have imagination. That is the metaphysical meaning of that step, because on that day, this is where it said that land emerged. If you're following the creative process story, land emerged, and land represents our consciousness, right? The consciousness is the land. So this is where our consciousness emerged. Here comes out of the waters, out of the unlimited possibilities and potentialities, out of the waters and the sky, the dome, right? Because that's what day two said. I forgot to mention that, right? In the book, it said that this is where there's a separation between the waters and the firmament, which is the dome, right? The unlimited possibility, potential, and the unlimited possibility. So now out of the waters and the dome, here comes land. Land emerges. So that just means something is taking form, right? So this is where, in this space, this is where we have to, everything that is brought into sight as the land emerges, this is where our imagination, because when we see things, we bring it into awareness. When you speak it, you bring it into form. Speak it and it shall appear. This is why the throat chakra is very powerful, because whatever you speak, you solidify your thoughts, right? Thoughts are already very powerful, But when you speak, this is why they say the sword is the tongue. Because when you speak, you put something solid. You solidify those thoughts. You cement those thoughts. This is why once you put it out, you can't take it back. You know, you could go around it. You could try to fix it and shape it and form it. But once you put it out, you can't take it back. You already gave it form. So speak it and it shall appear. This is the formation. So what you speak about, you bring about. So when we image something, we image a nation. And this is how we bring our thoughts and whatever our ideas are through the, this is where you start to shape, excuse the helicopter, this is where you start to shape your unlimited possibilities, right? Imagination. And look at that, it's coming from, the next step is coming from the third eye. And when you think about it, it's coming from an imaging faculty. So what you image, you have to now bring it into form. And when you think about imagination, what you see, what you image, again, to show how it's with the visual cortex, what we see and everything, our visual cortex is behind here. And the imagination faculty is actually right there behind, you know, in the back of your head there, the back of the brain. That's where the cortex is. So we visualize everything. Everything you see goes to the back, and there's your visual cortex, and you bring image to it. So the next step is, after you image it, after you bring image to it, what are you doing with those images? All those endless possibilities. Now you bring it into form. Now you start to form something, right? Just by speaking life into it, by bringing what you see into an awareness, into a consciousness. That's what that metaphysical, that step metaphysically means. So the third step is very important in terms of beginning to form that which you are imaging, right? That you are bringing from the faith faculty. And faith is a bridge. So that's another thing. Faith bridges. And faith plus imagination is how you actually bring things into the realm. So it's funny how that step goes right behind it. Faith is the bridge, and it brings you right to couple it with imagination. And then now the next step starts to take hold, which we'll talk about that on step 4. So step 3 is really important in imaging. Image a nation. So the question that goes with that, because we had a question with each one. So to get your question for the previous ones, you have to watch step 1, step 2, because I give the questions for that. So the questions for this one is to think about, and remember, we're writing these down because this is how you're bringing it into form. You're having an intentional, purposeful step in your creative process. So the question is, what is it that needs to emerge in your consciousness? What needs to bring form in your consciousness? Remember, this is a twofold. All questions are twofold. The first part is about you and your personal soul unfoldment. And the second part is about the collective. However you see the collective, but mainly I've been doing it for 5D, so I always tailor it to how do you see this coming for the consciousness of 5D? How do you see this? What do you see that needs to emerge for the consciousness of the 5D, right? Of the 5D new earth. So that would be the second part. So let me say it again. The question is, what do you need? What needs to emerge in your consciousness to form for your soul unfoldment, to bring in your ideas? And secondly, what needs to emerge for the consciousness of 5D to form, right? What needs to form for them? For us, I should say. What do you see, right? It's basically on what you see, because we all have our little intuitive spark. So what do you see for the collective? And it helps us. Why this is so important? Because it helps us bring together what we're forming for the collective consciousness of 5D, because this is all consciousness. We're not leaving a specific location. We are expanding. It is our perspectives that are changing, and we are expanding, we are evolving. And as we evolve individually, we evolve collectively, one unto another. Each light lights the next one. So the more of us that do this work individually, this is why it's so important to worry about yourself and not try to save the world, but be your own savior. And in doing so, you spark the light, you spark the flame for the next one, and it becomes the collective, right? So we don't have to focus on the collective, but keep the collective in view. keep the collective in mind and in thought, because as you image it, we help put power to it. We help bring it together just by thoughts, just by collective thoughts, right? I call that divine synergy, right? Individually, we all got our own divine energy, but collectively, it's a whole divine synergy, right? Which is what I'm all about. So let's join this collective energy. Let's join the divine synergy in bringing this into form. So what do you have into form? So I want to remind you, before I go, that when we're looking at, as you do this step by step, keep your focus on the divine idea or ideas that you have that you're bringing in, because you don't want to pick something new every day. You want to shape those ideas that are coming in from the void, from the nothingness into the everythingness. Stay focused on that. And so every question, every step of the way is focused and tethered to that divine idea, that light bulb, or the divine ideas, that light bulb or light bulbs that you had. Keep it tethered to that. So you're going to look at the unlimited possibilities and potentials for that divine idea. And then you're going to look at, what do you see that needs to emerge in your consciousness to bring these into formation, right? To speak it into existence, to image a nation, right? Imagination. So third step, third day, imagination, all about the throat chakra. And I haven't mentioned this, but just to let you know, as we're doing this, I may do another series like this where we literally do it one day at a time. But I also incorporate with these chakras the foods. So with the first day, I start off with no foods, because it's the crown chakra. It's fasting. It's very minimum foods. It's the highest spiritual chakra. And then on the third eye, that day we usually just eat all berries and fruits, because that's what activates the third eye. That's what that chakra is about. And on the third day, it's liquids all day, and as I said, when we do the foods and we're doing it in a fasting type way, it's tailored to everyone's design, like whatever you can handle. You don't have to push yourself. Some people fast for half a day, some do it until sundown, some do it the whole day. So it depends on how it works for you. I'm just sharing that little tidbit with you because I incorporate the chakras. We wear the colors of the chakra on that day. That's why I'm in, my color of the sky. I know we see a little bit purple, but it's to represent the sky for the third chakra. So each day or each step, you'll see I'm representing a color for that day, right? So that's just to incorporate the energy centers in this, because we're going from the crown going down, but make sure we're paralleling it with the creative process. So remember to write down these questions, because you are bringing your creative process to life as you are a co-creator in this experience. And this is a big deal for whatever we're bringing in for this total eclipse new moon. Remember, this energy lasts not just for right now. It's so potent that it reverberates for what we are to see for the entire year. So that's why I'm being guided to do this, because whenever you see this, feel free to work it. Don't think it's too late. It works if you work it. So with that, that is all of our information on the third step, third day, which is imagination and this creative process as we are doing our new moon manifestations with this total eclipse. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for those of you that have been tuning in to tune up and commenting. So please continue to like, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. I feel like I need to say that more, because the more of you that do it, like, subscribe, share, comment. I love the comments because I get to comment back with you. The more of you do it, the more it sets the tone with the algorithms, and it gets out to others who feel like this is something for them. And I did read one comment where I can't remember your name, but being thankful for being able to find this just in time. And to you, I say, we're welcome. And it reflects back to me and lets me know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So thank you as well. And continue to do the work. It works if you work it. Peace, love, and light.